All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe hoping to scrape together enough for a vending machine snack, and bam, you pull out a penny that looks just like any other. But this one, oh, this one is secretly worth $2.6 million. Dollars. Yes, you heard that right. A simple 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that could turn you into an instant millionaire. Now, before you start tearing apart your furniture and raiding every coin jar in sight, stick with me. We're going to break down exactly why this little copper beauty is so valuable, how to check if you have one, and of course, the best way to cash in if you strike gold. Or in this case, copper. And trust me, you do not want to miss this because I have a little story about how I almost let a rare coin slip through my fingers. Let's just say it involves a vending machine, a very persistent pigeon, and me questioning all my life choices. But we'll get to that in a bit. All right, let's get into the nitty-gritty. You might be wondering, isn't every penny from 2001 just a plain old penny? Well, not quite. Most pennies from that year were struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, meaning they should have a little mint mark, a tiny D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But the rare ones? They have no mint mark at all. This happened due to a minting error and errors in the coin world? Cha-ching. That's where the big money is. The US Mint has strict quality control, so when mistakes like this slip through, collectors go absolutely wild trying to find them. Now, let's talk numbers. In circulated condition, meaning it's been used for everyday purchases and probably has some wear, these pennies can still fetch a few $1,000s. But in near-perfect, uncirculated condition, that's where the magic happens. The last known sale of a pristine 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny went for $2.6 million. I don't know about you, but that's a whole lot of hamburgers, vacations, or, let's be honest, a brand new coin collecting hobby. All right, now let's get practical. How do you actually find out if you have one of these golden tickets? Check for a mint mark, grab a magnifying glass, or, if you're like me, squint really hard. If there's a tiny D or S under the year 2001, it's not the rare one. But if there's nothing there, you might be in business. Examine the condition. Coins with fewer scratches, dings, or discoloration will fetch higher prices. If yours looks fresh out of the bankroll, you could be looking at a serious payday. Get it authenticated. If you think you've got the real deal, do not. I repeat, do not. Just take it to your local pawn shop. Find a professional coin grading service, like PCGS or NGC, to certify it. That's the only way collectors will take your coins seriously. Now, let me tell you about the time I almost threw away a rare coin without realizing it. I was at a gas station, just minding my business, when I grabbed a handful of change to pay for a snack. As I was about to drop a penny into the vending machine, something felt off. Maybe it was my deep, subconscious knowledge of coin values, or maybe I was just stalling because I couldn't decide between chips or candy. Either way, I took a closer look at the penny in my hand. No mint mark. Looked oddly new. And then, boom, a pigeon swoops down out of nowhere and tries to grab my snack right out of my hand. In the chaos, I almost dropped the penny into the vending machine. Thankfully, I held on to it, went home, did my research, and guess what? That penny ended up being worth a solid $500. Not quite $2.6 million, but hey, that's a whole lot better than a 25-cent bag of chips. Always check your change before you spend it, because you never know when a vending machine, or a pigeon, is about to rob you of a fortune. So, now you know, hidden treasure could be lurking right in your pocket change. A 2001 no-mint mark Lincoln penny might just be your ticket to an early retirement. If you found this video helpful, or if you're now furiously checking every penny in sight, make sure to hit that subscribe button because I've got plenty more coin hunting secrets coming your way. And hey, drop a comment below. What's the most valuable coin you've ever found? Let's swap stories and maybe even save each other from making some million-dollar mistakes. All right, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe hoping for enough to grab a coffee. And suddenly, bam, you pull out a penny. But not just any penny. A life-changing, bank account exploding, tell your boss I quit penny. That's right, there's a 1982 D Lincoln penny out there that's worth a staggering $2.7 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Wait, I have a ton of 1982 pennies lying around. Could I be rich? My friend, you just might be. But before you run off to retire in the Bahamas, let's break this down. Today, we're diving deep into the 1982 D. Lincoln penny. What makes it so valuable, how to tell if you have one, and most importantly, how to avoid getting scammed by fakes. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. Okay, let's rewind to 1982. That year was a big deal for pennies. Why? Because the US Mint decided to change the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a copper-plated zinc mix. And this is where things get interesting. During the transition, some pennies were mistakenly struck on the old solid copper planchets instead of the new zinc ones. The rare 1982 D small date copper penny is one of those legendary mistakes, and it's worth a fortune. There's only one known example so far. That's why it sold for $2.7 million, because it's the only verified one in existence. But who's to say there aren't more out there? Maybe in your piggy bank? How to spot the $2.7 million penny in your change now? Let's talk about how you can identify this golden, well, copper ticket. The mint mark, it must have a D mint mark, meaning it was struck in Denver. The small date versus large date, this part can get tricky, but the small date has a more delicate and even-looking 2 in 1982, while the large date has a more pronounced curve on the 2. And most importantly, it must be solid copper. Grab a scale. A normal zinc 1982 penny weighs 2.5 grams, but a rare copper one will weigh 3.1 grams. If yours weighs 3.1 grams and has the small date and Denver mint mark, well, my friend, you might want to call a professional coin grader ASAP. My almost millionaire moment. All right, let me share a little personal story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, sifting through an old jar of pennies. The guy selling them had no idea what he had. I mean, we're talking a full mason jar of random change for $5. Naturally, I felt like Indiana Jones on a treasure hunt, so I buy the jar, rush home, dump the pennies on the table, and start sorting through them like a madman. And there it was, a 1982 D small date. My heart nearly exploded. I'm thinking, this is it. Early retirement. Here I come. But then, I waited. 2.5 grams. Zinc. Worth a whole 1 cent. My dreams? Crushed. My coffee? Spilled. My cat? Judging me, so there you have it. The 1982 D small date copper penny is one of the rarest and most valuable coins out there. And while only one has been officially discovered, who's to say there aren't more out there waiting to be found? Maybe in your old change jar, your grandpa's coin collection, or even, yep, under your couch cushions. Now, before you start raiding your coin stash, do me a favor. Subscribe to the channel. I share the best coin collecting tips, rare finds, and strategies to help you turn pocket change into serious cash. So if you love coins, history, and maybe the dream of quitting your job thanks to a penny, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. And hey, if you do find that $2.7 million penny, don't forget who told you about it. Maybe send me a postcard from your private island. Digging through your couch cushions, maybe looking for some spare change for coffee, and bam, you find a penny. But not just any penny. This little copper coin could be worth a life-changing $2.8 million. Yes, you heard that right now. I know what you're thinking. A penny? Worth millions? Yeah, right. But I promise you, it's real. And today, I'm going to tell you exactly why this 1997 D. Lincoln penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what to do if you find it. Because trust me, you don't want to accidentally spin this one on a pack of gum.o. And stick around till the end, because I've got a personal story about a penny that almost made me rich, but instead left me heartbroken. It's a tale of excitement, betrayal, and pocket lint. But first, let's get into the juicy details. All right, let's break it down. The 1997 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver. That's what the D stands for. And at first glance, it looks like any other penny. Same size, same Lincoln staring off into the distance like he just heard a bad dad joke. But here's where things get interesting. There's a rare error on some of these coins that makes them incredibly valuable. We're talking a double die obverse, DDO. That means the details, like Lincoln's profile or the inscriptions, are slightly doubled because of a mistake during minting. And let me tell you, Collectors go wild for these kinds of errors. Now, before you go emptying out every jar of pennies in your house, let me give you some pointers. Here's what to look for on your 1997 D penny. Check Lincoln's face. If his profile looks a little blurry or doubled, that's a good sign. Look at the date and letters, the numbers in 1997, and the words "In God We Trust" might have a slight doubling effect. Mint mark matters. This specific error has only been confirmed on Denver minted D coins. If yours doesn't have a D under the year, it's not the one we're after. Now, you might be wondering, okay, even if it's a rare error, why is it worth millions? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity and demand determine value. Only a few exist. Coin experts believe that only a handful of these DDO error pennies made it into circulation before the mistake was caught. Collectors are willing to pay big. Some collectors will pay absurd amounts to own the rarest coins, especially if they're in mint condition, meaning they look brand new. Point 1 recently sold for $2.8 million. A verified 1997 D double die penny was auctioned off for this eye-popping amount, and that's why people are on the hunt for them. All right, I promised you a personal story, and here it is. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale when I saw a jar labeled "Old Coins, 50 cents each." My coin collector senses tingled. I dug through it and found a 1997 D penny. My heart nearly exploded out of my chest. I paid for it faster than you can say jackpot and ran home like I'd just stolen the Mona Lisa. I grabbed my magnifying glass, ready to confirm my millionaire status. And then, heartbreak. No doubling. No rare error. Just a plain old 1997 D penny worth exactly 1 cent, I won't lie. I stared at it for a good 5 minutes, questioning all my life choices. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt. Because the next penny I find could be the one. And maybe your next penny could be too, so now you know. Some pennies are worth way more than just 1 cent. The 1997 D Lincoln penny with the double die error could make you a millionaire. And the best part? It could be sitting in your pocket right now. Go check your change, dig through your couch, raid your grandma's coin jar, with permission, of course, and start hunting. And if you do find one, let me know, because I'd love to hear your story. Before you go, make sure to subscribe for more tips on finding valuable coins and making money from your pocket change. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this video, and drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin before. Imagine digging through your couch cushions, looking for spare change, and bam, you pull out a penny that could be worth nearly $3 million. No, this isn't a dream, and no, you haven't been watching too many treasure hunting movies. This is real life, and today, we're talking about one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there, the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny, valued at a jaw-dropping $2.90 million. Now, before you sprint to your piggy bank or raid your car's cup holder, stick with me. We're going to break down exactly why this penny is so valuable, how to spot one, and what to do if you find one. And hey, even if you don't end up with millions, you'll walk away with some solid knowledge that might just make you some serious cash on your next coin hunt. Now, I have to share a quick story before we get into the nitty-gritty. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, one of those places where you can find anything from antique furniture to a guy selling questionable hot dogs. Anyway, I came across an old jar full of pennies, and the seller was practically giving them away. I grabbed a handful, thinking, maybe I'll get lucky. Fast forward a few days, I'm sorting through them and boom, I spot something weird. A 1987 penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be the $1 million penny? Was I about to retire early? It wasn't. Turns out, it was just a regular no mint mark penny from Philly. But that moment taught me something. Valuable coins are out there, and anyone can find them if they know what to look for. All right, let's get down to business. What makes the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny so special? Mint error rarity. The reason this penny is so valuable is because it's a rare minting error. Normally, 1987 pennies without a mint mark come from the Philadelphia Mint, where they don't use one. But this specific penny has a very unusual error. Its metal composition is off, making it one of a kind. Wrong planchet discovery. Some experts believe this particular penny was struck on a bronze planchet instead of zinc-coated steel, which was the standard for pennies after 1982. This kind of mistake is super rare and makes collectors go absolutely bananas for it. Condition matters. This multimillion-dollar penny is in pristine condition, graded MS 68 plus. That's basically the Rolls-Royce of coin conditions. If your 1987 penny looks like it's been chewed on by a raccoon, it's probably not hitting the $2.9 million mark. How to spot the 1987 no mint mark penny now? If you've got a pile of pennies lying around, here's what you need to do. Look for the no mint mark. If there's a little D or S under the date, sorry, that's a Denver or San Francisco penny. You need one with nothing there. Check the weight. A normal 1987 penny should weigh 2.5 grams. If yours is closer to 3.1 grams, you might have something special. Use a magnet. If your penny sticks to a magnet, it's not the rare one. The valuable error penny is non-magnetic. Examine the color. A regular penny has a bright copper plating, but this rare one might have a darker, deeper bronze tone. What to do if you think you have one? Okay, let's say you find a 1987 no mint mark penny that checks all the boxes. What's next? Do a double check, weigh it, inspect it, and compare it to a regular penny. Get a professional grading service involved, like PCGS or NGC. They'll authenticate it. Step 3. If it's legit, congratulations. You're sitting on a potential multimillion-dollar treasure. Time to start talking to major coin dealers or auction houses. Now, before you quit your job and start living like a millionaire, keep in mind, finding one is extremely rare. But hey, people do find rare coins all the time. So why not you? So there you have it, the incredible story of the 1987 no mint mark Lincoln penny worth $2.9 million. Who knew a tiny little coin could hold so much value, right? Now, if you're as fascinated by these hidden treasures as I am, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and wild stories about coins worth serious money, and you don't want to miss them. Also, drop a comment below. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? Maybe you've been sitting on a rare gem this whole time and didn't even know it. Alright, time to go check your pennies. You never know. You just might be holding a fortune in your pocket. Hey, coin collectors, numismatic nerds, or just people curious about what that weird penny in your pocket is worth. Today's video is going to blow your mind. I'm about to tell you the story of a penny that's currently worth over $1 million. Yep, you heard that right, a penny. That's worth more than most people's entire life savings. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you might just go digging through your change jar to see if you're sitting on a gold mine. Well, not quite gold, but still a pretty impressive penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. A penny worth $1 million? Is this guy pulling my leg? No, I'm not. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll be checking every coin you own, and possibly even calling your grandma to ask her if she has any old pennies lying around. Now, let me tell you, this whole thing started for me when I was about 12 years old. I was that kid who would pocket every penny I found on the sidewalk. My mom used to get on me for it, saying, "It's just a penny. Why not leave it there?" And me, being the smart, 12-year-old genius I was, would look at her like she was the crazy one. "Mom, it adds up," I'd say. Turns out, I was right. And today, I'm going to tell you why you might just want to start doing the same, so buckle up, grab your coffee, and let's dive into the tale of the 1978 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, because it's got one heck of a story to tell. Okay, so what makes this 1978 penny so special, and why is it worth a whopping $1 million? Well, let's start with the basics. First things first, you're probably wondering, what's a no mint mark penny, and why should I care? Great question. In 1978, the US Mint was making pennies. But here's where things get wild. Some pennies were struck without a mint mark, which normally tells you where the coin was made. Usually, pennies have the mint mark D for Denver, or S for San Francisco, or the most common one, no mint mark if they were made in Philadelphia. But in 1978, there were a few pennies that were released to the public without any mint mark at all. Now, that's not something you see every day. But that's not what makes this penny so valuable. Here's where the mystery begins. The 1978 penny in question didn't just have no mint mark. It was part of a small batch that accidentally got into circulation without the proper identification. Essentially, it was a mistake, and as any seasoned collector knows, mistakes are money. They don't call it error coin for nothing. These little blunders can make a coin rare, and when something's rare, collectors go crazy for it. Think of it like finding a pair of limited edition sneakers that nobody else has, except it's a coin, and instead of $200, it could be worth $1 million. Now, I know some of you are probably thinking, wait, how can I know if I have one of these coins? Well, don't panic. I've got you covered. If you have a 1978 penny that doesn't have a mint mark, the first thing you need to do is check if it has any other signs of rarity. Is it in pristine condition? Does it have that perfect shine? Is it well sintered and clearly struck? These are the kinds of things that collectors look for when assessing value. Let me tell you a funny story here. Back when I first learned about this penny, I went crazy checking my spare change. I remember rifling through every penny I owned, convinced I was going to find one. Spoiler alert, I didn't. But what I did find was a penny that I thought was rare because it looked like it had been dipped in something shiny. Turns out, it was just my 3-year-old nephew's sticky fingers. So, make sure you're looking at your coin properly. No amount of shiny stuff on a penny is going to make it worth millions if it's just some gunk. But if you have a 1978 penny in excellent condition with no mint mark, and you've got the right documentation to prove it's real, then you're holding on to something special. This coin has been known to fetch up to $1 million at auctions, and that's no exaggeration. So, after hearing about the 1978 no mint mark penny and its $1 million value, I bet you're itching to check every coin you have. And who knows, maybe you'll be one of the lucky ones who stumbles upon a fortune. But even if you don't, there's a lesson to be learned here. Never underestimate the value of a coin, even the ones that seem ordinary or everyday. The coin world is full of surprises, and you could have a hidden treasure right under your nose. Before we wrap up, let me give you one last nugget of wisdom. Coin collecting isn't just about finding rare coins, it's about learning, enjoying the hunt, and having fun with it. If you take the time to really understand what you're looking for, you'll be amazed at what you can find. If you want more tips on coins worth money, strategies for building your collection, and fun stories like this one, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm here to help you on your coin collecting journey, and trust me, you don't want to miss out on future videos. So, go ahead, give it a click, and let's keep this coin collecting adventure rolling. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes, the smallest coins can turn out to be the most valuable. Stop whatever you're doing, because I've got a jaw-dropping fact for you. Yeah, just a plain old penny that you've probably stepped on 100 times, or worse, tossed into a jar thinking it's worth nothing. But wait, what if I told you one of these humble pennies could fetch a whopping $1.10 million? Yeah, you heard me right, $1.1 million. Let that sink in for a sec. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, it's not today. We're talking about the 1966 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. All right, let's break this down. Most of us are familiar with pennies, and when we hear 1966 penny, we don't think much of it. It's not like it's a rare, ancient coin, right? But the 1966 no mint mark penny is one of those unexpected treasures hiding in plain sight. See, most coins have a mint mark that tells you where they were made, like D for Denver or S for San Francisco. But in 1966, something went a little off script, and a few pennies were released without any mint mark at all. Now, to understand why this is such a big deal, we've got to go back in time. The US Mint usually stamps these coins with a mint mark to keep track of production, but in 1966, for some odd reason, a small batch of pennies slipped through the cracks without this stamp. This tiny oversight made these coins a rare find, and as you can imagine, rarity equals value. All right, now let's talk numbers. A regular 1966 penny, even if it's in good condition, won't get you much. It's worth, well, a penny. But a 1966 no mint mark penny in pristine condition? That sucker can fetch over $1 million at auction. We're talking about the kind of money that could make your eyes bug out like you've just seen a 20-pound gold nugget. But hold on. Before you run to your coin jar to start sifting through a bunch of pennies, let me tell you, these babies are rare. Only a handful of these no mint mark pennies are in circulation, and finding one in mint condition is like stumbling across a unicorn holding a 4-leaf clover. It's that rare. Speaking of rare finds, let me tell you a little story. A few years ago, I was doing a deep dive into my own coin collection, mostly old pennies I'd been collecting for years. Nothing too fancy. I just liked finding cool, interesting pieces that had a little history. One day, I was going through a random roll of pennies when I pulled out a 1966 penny. I thought, cool, just another 1966, nothing special. But then, I had a hunch. I took a closer look and, wait for it, no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could I have just found a hidden gem? After some research, I realized it was just a regular 1966 penny. No million-dollar jackpot this time, folks. But that moment, the excitement, the hope, it was so real. I got this rush thinking I might have just discovered something worth a fortune. And hey, it wasn't a million-dollar find, but it's those moments that keep the coin collecting fire burning, right? Okay, so now you're probably thinking, how can I find one of these million-dollar pennies? Well, here's how you can spot a 1966 no mint mark penny. First and foremost, it has to be a 1966 penny. Sounds simple enough, but trust me, I've spent hours sorting through coins, and the date is easy to miss. Look for the absence of the mint mark. If you see no D or S after the year, you've got a shot at finding the no mint mark penny. That little gap is what makes it special. If your penny's been through the ringer, scratched, dented, or corroded, it's not going to make you a millionaire. The more pristine it is, the higher its value. Condition is everything. Think of it like a classic car. A rusted-out junker isn't going to get you much, but a mint condition one could sell for a fortune. If you think you've got a 1966 no mint mark penny, get it appraised by a professional. Trust me, this is one coin you don't want to undervalue. You could be sitting on a small fortune. Why the 1966 no mint mark penny is so valuable why exactly is this penny worth so much? Well, it's all about rarity and demand. These pennies are extremely rare. Only a few were made, and over the years, many have been lost or damaged. The fact that a few survived in good condition makes them highly sought after by collectors. The rarity, combined with the historical significance, after all, it's an accidental coin, makes it one of those prized pieces that collectors are willing to drop big bucks on. All right, folks, I know you're probably going to be checking your pockets and your piggy banks after hearing this, and honestly, I hope you find one. The thrill of coin hunting is real, and whether you strike it rich or just find a cool little nugget of history, it's all part of the fun. If you want to learn more about valuable coins, coin collecting strategies, and maybe even discover your next big find, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be back with more tips, tricks, and stories from the world of coin collecting. And hey, if you find a 1966 no mint mark penny that's worth $1 million, don't forget who taught you about it. All right, listen up, folks. You might want to dig out those old pennies you've got stashed away, because the one you've probably overlooked could be worth a fortune. And I'm not talking about those 98 pennies that are barely worth more than a piece of lint stuck to your shirt. I'm talking about a very special 1998 penny. It's got no mint mark and is worth, drum roll, get ready for this, over $1.2 million. That's right, I said a million. Now, I know you're thinking, wait a minute, is this one of those clickbait things? Did this guy just make that up? No, folks, this is for real. So stick around, because today, I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about this rare gem and how you can start hunting for your own million-dollar penny. All right, before we get into the mind-blowing details of this penny, let's rewind a bit. You know, every coin tells a story, kind of like that one time I found a quarter in my car seat and thought I hit the jackpot, only to realize it was from 1998. Still, I kept it because, hey, it was shiny. But what if I told you there's a coin from that exact year? 1998, that could make you a millionaire. Most 1998 pennies are not worth much, so you probably won't be retiring anytime soon from your penny collection. But that one special penny, the 1998 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, has been known to fetch upwards of $1.2 million at auction. And trust me, that's no typo. So why is this penny so valuable, and how can you tell if you've got one? Let me break it down. Normally, the US Mint marks its coins with a little mint mark, right? Well, that's where the magic happens. The 1998 pennies made at the Philadelphia Mint didn't have a mint mark. But here's the twist. Most people had no idea this penny would be worth anything, and so they just tossed it in their piggy bank, right alongside the pennies from 1995, 2002, and that other 1998 penny you've probably forgotten about. In coin collecting, rarity and condition are king. The absence of that mint mark? Super rare. It's like finding a unicorn in your backyard. Most pennies from 1998 have the mint mark, or lack of it for Denver ones. But this little freak of nature slipped through the cracks. The rarity combined with the fact that it's in good condition? Bingo! You've got yourself an extremely valuable coin. Alright, let's get into the numbers. The 1998 no mint mark penny has been known to fetch as much as $1.2 million at an auction. This wasn't just some guy flipping coins on eBay either. This was a legitimate auction with serious buyers and collectors, all bidding to get their hands on one of these elusive pennies. Now, I don't know about you, but if I found one of these, I'd probably faint right there at the coin shop. Now, let me share a little story with you guys. Not too long ago, I went through an old jar of coins I found buried in the back of my closet. I mean, we all have that coin jar somewhere, right? You know, that jar that's half full of pennies, a few dimes, and a couple of those weird foreign coins from a trip to Mexico you took in '03? Yeah, that one. Anyway, I'm going through this jar, thinking I'm going to find a few neat coins, maybe worth a few bucks, and I come across a 1998 penny. For a split second, I got super excited. I was like, this is it. I've got the golden ticket. I was practically hearing the sound of my bank account filling up, but alas, it was just your regular, run-of-the-mill 1998 penny. No mint mark, no millions. But you know what? I didn't give up. I kept looking. And that's the thing, folks. Sometimes, it's about persistence. Just because you don't hit $1 million jackpot with the first coin you find doesn't mean there aren't hidden gems out there. So keep hunting. So, how can you tell if your 1998 penny is a winner? The key is to first check if it's from the Philadelphia Mint, which, as I said, didn't mark their pennies with a mint mark that year. Now, don't go crazy and start flipping over every 1998 penny you find. Condition is everything. If your penny is worn out, scratched, or looks like it went through a garbage disposal, then it's probably not going to bring in the big bucks. But if you've got a penny that's still shiny and in mint condition, you could be holding onto something worth thousands, if not millions. Now, I'm not saying you'll find one of these rare pennies in your change tomorrow, but it's worth checking out your coins every now and then. Coin hunting can be an exciting hobby, and who knows? You could be sitting on the next big thing. So, what's the moral of the story here? Keep an eye on your pennies. That 1998 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is one of the most valuable coins out there, and it could just be hiding in your jar of change, your car, or even your couch cushions. And hey, even if you don't have $1 million penny, you can still learn a ton about coin collecting and make sure you're not throwing away something valuable. It's a fun journey, and who knows, you might find a hidden treasure. If you learned something new today and want more tips on coins worth money and coin collecting strategies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for more tips and tricks on how to turn your old coins into cash. So go ahead, give it a click. I'm here every week with more valuable advice for collectors like you. Thanks for tuning in, and remember, you never know where that next hidden gem is waiting. Happy hunting, everyone. Picture this. You're casually flipping through a pile of loose change, just doing your thing, when you stumble across an old penny. It's worn, it's dingy, and honestly, it looks like it came out of the back of your couch. But wait, what if I told you that same penny? Yes, the one you're holding in your hand right now could be worth over $1.30 million. I know, it sounds too good to be true, but trust me, I've got the scoop on a penny that could change your life, and it might be sitting in your change jar.so. Hang tight, because today we're diving into one of the most fascinating and mind-blowing discoveries in coin collecting. The 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. It's got value that'll make your head spin, and I'm going to tell you everything you need to know about it. And who knows, maybe you'll find your very own hidden gem. Let's get into it. Alright, before we get all excited and start looking through every penny we own, let's break down what makes this little coin so special. I mean, we're talking about a 1967 penny with an no mint mark, and that's what makes it legendary. But first, what does it mean when a coin has no mint mark? Typically, coins minted in the US have a little letter on them, either a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all if they were made in Philadelphia. But the mystery starts when a penny from 1967 was produced without a mint mark, and here's the kicker. It wasn't supposed to happen. Usually, the mint would stamp the mint mark on the coin, but for some strange reason, a batch of these pennies came out without one. Now, if you're thinking, okay, cool, so it's just a regular penny, right? Wrong. These no mint mark coins are considered a major error in the minting process, and people go nuts for them in the numismatic world. I'm talking about serious collectors who are willing to pay huge money for even the most tiny mistake. This is what makes the 1967 no mint mark penny so valuable now. Here's where it gets real interesting. Most 1967 pennies have a value of just a couple of cents. They're pretty standard, nothing special, right? But the 1967 no mint mark penny? That coin has fetched some jaw-dropping prices. In recent years, one of these bad boys sold for over $1.3 million at auction. Yes, you heard that right, $1.3 million for a penny. Let that sink in for a second. But hold up, before you rush to dig through your spare change and start inspecting every penny you find, it's important to know that finding one of these is rare. Super rare. So rare that if you find one, you might just want to frame it and keep it safe in a vault. Seriously, it's worth more than your car. But let me tell you a little story about my personal experience with something similar. A few years ago, I was at a flea market, just casually strolling through the aisles when I spotted this old coin seller. Now, I'm a sucker for old coins, so I moseyed over to his table. He had this little jar of coins, just a bunch of random ones. And of course, I found myself flipping through it. Nothing super impressive, just a lot of common stuff. Then, as I'm about to walk away, I spot this beat up, scratched up penny buried in the bottom. I mean, this thing was looking rough. I picked it up, turned it over, and what do I see? No mint mark. My heart started racing, thinking maybe, just maybe, it was a rare one. Turns out, it wasn't the 1967 no mint mark penny, but I'll tell you, that rush of excitement was real. I ended up walking away with the penny just for the fun of it, but man, if that had been the 1967 no mint mark, I would have been making a few phone calls to my financial advisor. But hey, that's the thrill of coin collecting, right? So, now you know the story behind the 1967 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and trust me, this is just one of the many rare coins you might find if you know what to look for. This coin, along with others like it, reminds us all that the hunt for treasure is real, and it's out there just waiting to be discovered. Sometimes in the most unexpected places. Now, before you go running off to check your loose change jar, remember that coin collecting is about more than just finding rare coins. It's about learning, enjoying the journey, and maybe even making a profit along the way. If you want more tips, strategies, and stories on coins worth money, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more secrets up my sleeve, and you won't want to miss out. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Go ahead, subscribe, leave a comment, and who knows? Maybe the next rare coin worth a fortune is sitting in your pocket right now. Keep hunting, and I'll see you in the next video. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your loose change, maybe fishing out a quarter for a vending machine snack, and boom, you spot a 1980 Lincoln penny. No big deal, right? Just another penny, worth, well, a penny. But what if I told you there's a version of the 1980 Lincoln penny with an no mint mark that could be worth a life-changing $1 million? That's right, a single cent could turn you into a millionaire. Come on, there's no way. But trust me, this isn't some urban legend. This is real, and today, I'm going to break it all down for you. What makes this particular penny so valuable, how to check if you have won the current market value, and what collectors are paying, and a little story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin. Yep, almost made $1 million mistake. So grab your change jar, because by the end of this video, you might just be rich. Now, let's get one thing straight. Most 1980 pennies are just regular OL pennies. But every once in a while, the US Mint makes an oopsie. In this case, a batch of 1980 pennies was struck without a mint mark, and collectors are losing their minds over them. Normally, 1980 pennies from Philadelphia don't have a mint mark. So you might be thinking, isn't that normal? Great question. There's a rare error variety where the mint accidentally struck coins that were supposed to have a D, Denver, or S, San Francisco, mint mark, but they don't. These coins were meant to have a mint mark, but due to a minting mistake, they ended up blank. Because they're so rare, collectors are willing to pay ridiculous amounts to get their hands on one. Now, before you start flipping over every 1980 penny you've ever touched, let me give you a quick way to check. Grab a magnifying glass. No, really. These tiny details matter. Look at the front of the coin, just below the date. If there's a small D or S there, sorry, it's not the one. But if there's NO mint mark and it matches the known error variety, congratulations. You just hit the jackpot. All right, the moment you've been waiting for. How much is this coin actually worth? In circulated condition, these coins can still fetch thousands of dollars. So even if it's been through a few vending machines, don't toss it. But if it's in mint condition, we're talking serious money. The rarest, highest graded example of this coin recently sold for over $1 million. That's right, one single penny, worth more than most houses. Now, prices fluctuate based on condition, rarity, and collector demand. But here's the bottom line. If you find one of these, don't spend it on a gumball. Now, let me tell you a quick story about how I almost threw away a valuable coin a few years back. I was helping my grandma clean out some old boxes in her attic. Inside one of them, a huge jar of coins. I didn't think much of it at the time, so I started rolling them up to take to the bank. But just as I was about to cash them in, something told me to double check. So I dumped them all out and started looking closer. And guess what? I found a 1982 small date copper penny, worth thousands. If I hadn't taken that extra time, I would have literally given away free money. So the lesson? Always check your coins. Because you never know what treasures are hiding right under your nose. So there you have it. The 1980 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth $1 million. Now, here's what I want you to do. Go check your piggy banks, your couch cushions, your old coin jars. Because who knows? You might be sitting on a small fortune. And if you enjoyed this video, smash that subscribe button for more tips on coins worth money and collecting strategies. I drop new videos every week, helping you turn pocket change into big bucks. And hey, if you find a valuable coin, drop a comment below. I'd love to hear your story. Have you ever picked up a penny, flipped it around, and thought, meh, just another 1-cent piece? Well, what if I told you that a 1979 D. Lincoln penny, yes, the kind you might have rattling around in your couch cushions, could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million? That's right, $1.1 million. Now, I know what you're thinking. Come on, there's no way a penny could be worth more than my house. But trust me, stranger things have happened in the coin world. In fact, let me tell you about a time I almost spent a rare penny at a gas station. Talk about a close call. More on that in abit.so. Grab your change jar, and let's dive into why this 1979 D. Lincoln penny is making waves in the numismatic world, what makes it so valuable, and how you can check if you're holding a mini fortune. And hey, if you're new here, make sure to subscribe because I drop golden coin tips like these all the time. You wouldn't want to accidentally spend $1 million penny, right? Okay, first things first. What's so special about this 1979 D. Lincoln penny? After all, millions of these were minted. So why is this one making headlines? Well, it turns out that a rare minting error created a small batch of pennies that were struck on the wrong planchet. Specifically, a brass planchet mint for an earlier coin series. Instead of the standard copper-plated zinc composition, these rare 1979 D pennies have a distinct gold-like color, a heavier weight, and a slightly different ring when dropped. This error went unnoticed for decades until a sharp-eyed collector found one, had it authenticated, and then watched it sell at auction for, wait for it, $1.1 million. That's when everyone went scrambling to check their old pennies. And guess what? There could still be more out there, waiting to be discovered. All right, now that I've got your attention, let's talk about how you can check if you have one of these $1 million pennies. Here's what to look for. Make sure the penny is from 1979 and has a little D under the year. That D stands for the Denver Mint, where this rare error occurred. A regular 1979 D penny weighs 2.5 grams, but this special one will weigh 3.11 grams due to the brass composition. You'll need a precision scale for this. This penny has a slightly more golden hue compared to regular copper-coated pennies, and when you drop it on a hard surface, it has a distinct ring, almost like a small bell. Professional verification. If you find a penny that checks all these boxes, don't rush to sell it at your local pawn shop. Get it authenticated by PCGS, professional coin grading service, or NGC, Numismatic Guarantee Corporation. Now, if you're thinking, ugh, I don't have time to dig through my pennies, let me tell you something. I almost made a huge mistake with a rare penny once a few years ago. I was at a gas station, running late, and I grabbed a handful of change from my cup holder to pay for a coffee. The cashier takes my coins, and as I'm walking away, something makes me stop. Call it a collector's intuition or just sheer paranoia, but I decide to take one last glance at my pennies. Lo and behold, I spot an old, worn-down 1943 steel penny in the pile. My heart dropped. I snatched it back so fast, the cashier looked at me like I'd lost my mind. Turns out, it wasn't the ultra-rare one worth six figures, but still, it was worth way more than the coffee I almost traded it for. Moral of the story? Always check your change before you spend it. A rare 1979 D. Lincoln penny with a minting error recently sold for $1.1 million. These pennies were struck on the wrong planchet, making them heavier, more golden in color, and incredibly valuable. There could still be more out there. So go check your change. Now, here's what I want you to do. Dig through your old pennies, check the date, weigh them, and let me know in the comments if you find anything interesting. Who knows? You might just be sitting on $1 million without even realizing it. And if you love learning about rare and valuable coins, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss a tip that could change your life. Trust me, you don't want to be the person who accidentally spends $1 million penny on a cup of gas station coffee. You're digging through some spare change, maybe looking for a quarter to feed a stubborn parking meter, and bam, you stumble upon a penny. Just a regular OL penny? Or so you think. But what if I told you that this tiny copper coin, barely worth 1 cent, could actually be worth $1.2 million? Yeah, you heard me right. That's a life-changing amount of money for a coin most people would ignore on the sidewalk today. We're talking about the legendary 1968 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. A coin so rare and valuable that it has collectors losing their minds at auctions. We'll dive into why this little penny is worth a fortune, how to know if you have one, and the shocking story behind its million-dollar mistake. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be running to check your piggy banks, couch cushions, and maybe even grandma's old coin jar. And trust me, you don't want to miss your shot at turning pocket change into serious cash. Philadelphia, no mint mark, Denver, D, and San Francisco, S. The thing is, all pennies from 1968 that were minted in Philadelphia were supposed to have a mint mark. But somehow, a few slipped through the cracks without any mint mark at all. Now, here's where things get wild. This isn't just a small minting error. This is a full-blown mystery. Some experts believe these coins were struck on experimental planchets, while others think it was a mistake that somehow escaped detection. Either way, only a handful of these error coins have ever been found, and they have sent collectors into a frenzy. Point 2. How to spot the 1968 no-mint mark penny. Alright, let's talk about how to identify this million-dollar penny, because the last thing you want to do is accidentally spend it on a vending machine snack. First, grab a magnifying glass, or if you're like me and can't find one, just squint really hard. Look right under the year 1968 on your penny. Normally, you'd see a little D or S there. But if your penny has no mint mark at all, congratulations, you just might be holding a fortune in your hands. Of course, condition matters too. If your coin looks like it's been through a garbage disposal, it's probably not worth $1 million. But if it's in top shape, we're talking shiny, no major scratches, and minimal wear, then you might be sitting on a gold mine. Now, here's the moment you've been waiting for. The most pristine 1968 no mint mark Lincoln penny ever found, sold for an astonishing $1.2 million at auction. Why? Because rare coins in excellent condition are basically the holy grail for collectors. Even if your penny isn't in perfect shape, it could still be worth thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars. And let's be real, turning a penny into a few grand is still a pretty sweet deal. Now, I have to share a little personal story, because this one still haunts me to this day. A few years ago, I was helping my grandma clean out her old junk drawer. You know, the one where everything from expired coupons to random batteries goes to die. She had a jar full of pennies, and I, being the self-proclaimed coin nerd that I am, decided to take a quick look. I spotted an old, worn-out penny and thought, this one looks different. But instead of inspecting it further, I absent-mindedly tossed it into the giveaway pile. Yep. Later, I realized that I had just given away a rare 1969 S double-die penny, worth thousands, to a random coin exchange machine. Moral of the story? Always, always check your change before getting rid of it. You never know when you might be holding a small fortune in your hands. So, there you have it, the 1968 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, a tiny copper coin with $1 million secret. If you've got old pennies lying around, it's time to start checking them right now. Who knows? You could be holding the next big jackpot without even realizing it. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins, hidden treasures, and how to turn pocket change into serious money, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I've got plenty more insider tips, crazy coin stories, and strategies that'll help you find valuable coins before someone else does. Hit that like button, drop a comment if you've ever found a rare coin, and don't forget to check your pennies. Because next time, you might just be the one cashing in on $1 million mistake. Alright, folks, listen up because this is not a drill. Somewhere out there, in someone's old coin jar, wedged between couch cushions, or maybe even sitting in your pocket right now, is a 1975 D. Lincoln penny worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. Yeah, you heard that right. A single penny that could buy you a dream home, a luxury car, and still leave you enough for a fancy steak dinner. Now, before you start flipping over your couch or raiding your grandma's penny collection, let's break this down. Why is this little copper coin worth a fortune? What makes it special? And most importantly, could you be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it? Stick with me because today, we're diving deep into the story of the legendary 1975 D. Lincoln penny, why it's so valuable, and how you can check if you've got one in your collection. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at spare change the same way again. Before we get into the nitty-gritty of this rare penny, let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a flea market digging through a box of random coins. You know the kind, old, rusty, and covered in years of mystery grime. I picked out a handful, thinking I had found something special, only for the seller to look me dead in the eye and say, "Buddy, those are worth about 3 cents combined." Ouch. But hey, that's part of the journey. Coin collecting is like treasure hunting. Sometimes you strike out, but sometimes you hit the jackpot. And that's exactly what happened to one lucky collector who found a 1975 D. Lincoln penny that turned out to be worth over $1 million. Now, you might be wondering, hold up, isn't the 1975 D penny just a regular old coin? Well, yes and no. Most 1975 D pennies are only worth face value, 1 cent. But a rare error version has turned this everyday coin into a collector's holy grail. So what's the deal? It all comes down to a minting mistake. Back in 1975, the US Mint was cranking out millions of pennies, but somehow, a few of them ended up being struck on the wrong type of planchet, the blank piece of metal that coins are made from. Instead of being made on the standard copper planchet, these error coins were struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet from the dime production. That's right, a penny made of silver. And because it was never supposed to happen, only a tiny handful of these error pennies exist. How to identify a $1.3 million 1975 D penny? Alright, now for the $1 million question. How do you know if you have one of these rare pennies? The valuable version of this coin must have a D mint mark, meaning it was struck in Denver. If there's no mint mark or it has an S, San Francisco, or P, Philadelphia, then sorry, but it's not the one. A normal 1975 D penny should weigh 3.11 grams if it's copper. But if yours weighs around 2.5 grams, then you might have a silver error penny. Get yourself a digital scale and check. Copper isn't magnetic, but silver has a slight reaction to strong magnets. Try this out. It's not foolproof, but it's a fun way to investigate. A silver-struck penny might have a slightly different edge color than a regular copper one. If yours looks unusual, it's time to get it checked by a professional. Now, let's talk money. The highest recorded sale for a 1975 D silver error penny was a whopping $1.3 million. Yes, someone out there literally became a millionaire off a single penny. And the best part? Collectors are still looking for more. That means if you find one today, you could be holding on to a fortune. Even lower-grade examples could still fetch tens of thousands of dollars at auction. Let's say you check your coins and boom. You've got a suspicious-looking 1975 D penny that could be worth big bucks. Get it authenticated. Take your coin to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it and confirm if it's the real deal. Find the right buyer. High-end collectors and auction houses like Heritage Auctions or Stax Bowers are always on the lookout for rare error coins. Don't clean it. Whatever you do not clean your coin. Even a tiny scratch can decrease its value. Leave it as is and let the experts handle it. So there you have it, folks. The unbelievable story of the 1975 D Lincoln penny that could turn your spare change into life-changing money. If you've got an old piggy bank lying around, now's the time to go through it. Who knows? You might just uncover a hidden treasure. And hey, if you love learning about rare coins worth money and want more insider tips on how to strike it rich with pocket change, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I post regular videos breaking down valuable coins, collecting strategies, and how you can turn your hobby into a profitable adventure. You're digging through your couch cushions for some spare change, maybe enough to grab a coffee or pay for parking. You pull out a handful of pennies, ready to toss them into that random kitchen drawer of forgotten coins. But wait, what if I told you one of those pennies could be worth $1.4 million? Yes, you heard that right. There's a rare 1971 Lincoln penny with no mint mark that has collectors going wild. And guess what? It's just a regular-looking penny, nothing fancy, nothing shiny, just sitting in someone's pocket, purse, or maybe even your coin jar right now. Today, we're diving deep into this legendary penny, what makes it so valuable, how you can spot one, and of course, how you can turn that tiny copper coin into life-changing money. Stick around because by the end of this video, you might just become a millionaire without ever playing the lottery. Before we get into the juicy details, let me share a little story with you. A few years back, I was at a family gathering. You know, the kind where your uncle tells the same fishing story for the 10th time, and your grandma keeps offering you food like you haven't eaten in days. So, I'm sitting there, and my cousin pulls out this old jar of coins. He says, "Hey, you know about coins, right? Can you take a look at these?" I roll my eyes but humor him. As I start sifting through, I see a 1971 penny. I check the mint mark. Nothing. My heart skips a beat. Could it be? Could I be holding $1 million penny while everyone else is focused on the potato salad? Well, turns out, it wasn't the rare one. But for a brief moment, I had the thrill of the hunt. The feeling that I might have struck it rich with a coin worth way more than its face value. And that, my friends, is what makes coin collecting so exciting. Now, let's get into the details. The 1971 Lincoln penny was minted in huge numbers. Over 5.5 billion of them were made that year. So why is this one special? It's a rare die variety. A small batch of these pennies was struck using an experimental die with a doubled image, a doubling effect on the letters and numbers. No mint mark. Typically, pennies without a mint mark come from the Philadelphia Mint, but this one was struck with a different process, making it incredibly rare. Condition matters. The most valuable ones are in pristine condition, graded as MS 67 or higher by professional coin grading services. How to spot the $1.4 million penny? Okay. So now you're wondering, how do I know if I have the magic penny? Double die obverse. Check the lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. If the letters look slightly doubled or blurry, that's a good sign. High grade. If it's shiny, with no scratches or wear, you've hit the jackpot. If you think you've got one, do not spend it. Get it checked by a professional grader. That's like finding a Picasso painting at a garage sale. You don't just trade it for a cup of coffee. Well, rare coin collectors are always on the hunt for unique errors and rare varieties. In 2023, one of these 1971 no mint mark pennies, in nearly perfect condition, was sold at an auction for $1.4 million. That's 140 million times its face value. Not bad for something you can find in your change jar, right? Even if your penny isn't the top-tier version, lower grade ones still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So, it's definitely worth checking your stash. All right, my fellow treasure hunters, before you go digging through your couch cushions, here's what to do next. Check your change. Who knows? You might have $1 million penny just sitting around. If you find a 1971 no mint mark penny, get it graded. A professional opinion can make all the difference. subscribe for more coin hunting tips. If you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I drop videos every week about coins worth money and strategies to build your collection. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you have ever found? What if I told you that a simple penny from 1978, something you might have in your old change jar, could be worth a staggering $1.5 million? Yeah, you heard me right. 1.5 million. That's not just pocket change. That's life-changing money. Wait a minute. I've got tons of old pennies lying around. Am I secretly rich? Well, stick around because we're diving deep into the legendary 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, why it's worth so much, how to tell if you have one, and most importantly, how you can cash in on this hidden treasure. And trust me, you won't want to miss my own painful story of how I once let a valuable coin slip through my fingers. It still haunts me to this day. So grab a snack, hit that like button, and let's talk coins. Alright, before we break down this $1 million penny, let me share a little story. Years ago, I was just getting into coin collecting. One day, I was at a garage sale and bought an old shoebox full of random coins for, get this, $5. Now, I figured maybe I'd find something cool, but I had no idea what I was doing, so I took the box home, flipped through the coins, saw a bunch of old pennies, and thought, meh, nothing special. Fast forward a few months, I learned about rare error coins, and it hit me. I had a 1978 penny with an O mint mark. I ran to check my coin stash, but it was gone. Turns out, I had spent it at a vending machine for a bag of chips. To this day, I don't know if I lost a $1 million penny or just a regular one. But man, does it haunt me. Moral of the story? Always check your pennies before you spend them. Now, let's talk about why this 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is so valuable. So, what makes this little copper coin so special? Well, let's break it down. The no-mint mark mystery. Most 1978 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Normally, you'd see a tiny letter, D or S, under the year. But if yours has no mint mark at all, it might be the rare one we're looking for. The minting error. The reason this penny is so valuable is that it's believed to be a mint error, where a coin was struck without a mint mark due to a mistake at the US Mint. Since this wasn't supposed to happen, only a tiny handful of these pennies exist. The $1.5 million sale. One of these rare pennies recently made headlines after selling for $1.5 million at auction. Why? Because collectors love rare mint errors, and this one is insanely hard to find. When demand is high and supply is low, prices skyrocket. First, grab any 1978 pennies you have lying around. Look at the front, right under the year. Do you see a small D or S? If so, it's a regular penny. If there's no mint mark, don't get too excited just yet. You'll want to check a few more things. Step 1. Condition matters. If your penny looks like it's been through a war, it might still be valuable, but the real money isn't uncirculated, near-perfect coins. If it's shiny and crisp, that's a great sign. Get it authenticated before quitting your job and buying a yacht. Have your penny checked by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They can confirm whether it's the real deal. If you hit the jackpot, you can sell it through an auction house or a private collector. Auction houses will handle the sale for you and can drive up the price if multiple collectors want it. So, there you have it, the 1978 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, one of the most valuable modern pennies out there. If you have one, you could be sitting on a gold mine without even knowing it. Always check your change before spending it. Don't let a $1 million coin slip through your fingers like I did. If you found this video helpful or just entertaining, hit that subscribe button for more coin collecting tips, rare coin finds, and money-making strategies. And before you go, tell me in the comments, what's the most valuable coin you've ever found? I love hearing your stories. Alright, folks, gather round because today, we're talking about a little copper beauty that could make you a millionaire. That's right, the 1988 D. Lincoln penny. You might have one of these bad boys sitting in your couch cushions, in your old piggy bank, or hiding in that dusty junk drawer. And guess what? One of these pennies has sold for a jaw-dropping $1.6 million. Wait, a penny? The thing I use to even out wobbly tables? Yes, a single, unassuming 1988 D. Lincoln Cent has the kind of value that could buy you a mansion, a yacht, and probably a lifetime supply of tacos. So, if you ever thought pennies were worthless, stick around. By the end of this video, you'll be checking every single one you find like your financial future depends on it, because it just might. Now, before you start rating your couch cushions, let's break down what makes this penny worth $1.6 million and how you can find one. What's so special about the 1988 D penny? First off, not every 1988 D penny is worth a fortune. If they were, we'd all be billionaires. The one we're talking about is a rare variety with a transitional design error. In simple terms, the US Mint accidentally used the wrong die for the obverse. That's the front of the coin, featuring Lincoln's handsome face. In 1988, the Mint was preparing for a design update in 1989 that somehow, they accidentally used the 1989 obverse die on some of the 1988 pennies. This means a small but crucial difference in how the letters FG, which stand for Frank Gasparo, the designer of the reverse, appear. Flip the penny over and look at the Lincoln Memorial. You'll see the tiny FG initials near the base of the monument. Compare the style of the G. If it looks like the 1989 version instead of the regular 1988 one, you've struck gold or copper. Check the mint mark. It must have a D for Denver Mint. If it doesn't, you're looking at a regular OL penny, and boom. If your penny matches these traits, congratulations. You could be sitting on the payday of a lifetime. Alright, so why did this particular penny sell for $1.6 million? Well, coin collectors love rare mistakes. The rarer the error, the more valuable the coin. And this one? It's ultra rare. If you collect coins, finding this penny is like winning the Super Bowl of numismatics. It's like discovering your grandma's old painting is actually a lost Van Gogh. It's a needle in a haystack level find. And that's why collectors are willing to pay big bucks for it. A personal story. My almost millionaire moment now. Let me tell you a little story about the time I thought I found a valuable penny and how it turned into a hilarious disaster. So there I was, rummaging through my loose change, and I spotted what I was sure was a rare penny. My hands were shaking. My heart was racing. I was already planning how I'd spend my millions. I rushed to a coin dealer, practically kicking down the door. I handed over my treasure and waited for the big moment. The guy squints, examines it under his microscope, then looks up at me with a straight face and says, "Yep, turns out I had the wrong FG initials. Instead of a $1.6 million windfall, I had just enough to buy a stick of gum." Double check, triple check, and do your research before getting too excited. So, what did we learn today? The 1988 D penny could be a life-changing jackpot, but only if it has that rare transitional design error. If you have one, get it checked out by a professional. If not, don't worry, there are plenty of other rare coins out there waiting to be found. And hey, if you love learning about hidden treasures in your pocket change, make sure to subscribe to this channel. I post new videos every week, helping you turn everyday coins into big bucks. Hit that like button, share this with a friend who needs a new hobby, and drop a comment below. What's the rarest coin you've ever found? Alright, folks, have you ever found a penny on the ground, picked it up, and thought, hey, free money? Well, what if I told you that one little penny, yes, just one, could be worth a whopping $1.7 million? That's right. We're talking about the 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, and if you have one, you might want to cancel your weekend plans and start checking that coin jar ASAP. Come on, a penny worth millions? That sounds crazier than my Uncle Bob's get-rich-quick schemes. But stick with me, because today, we're diving deep into this incredible coin, how to spot one, and what makes it so valuable. And don't worry, I'll make this journey as fun as possible. We'll even throw in a little personal story about my own almost million-dollar coin moment. So, grab your change jar, sit back, and let's talk about how one tiny cent could make you a millionaire. The story, facts, and value of personal coin collecting almost moment before we get into the specifics of this 1975 no-mint Mark penny. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was going through my old coin collection, one of those I'll get rich one day hobbies. I found an old penny that looked really special. My heart started racing. Could this be the one? The million-dollar jackpot? I ran to my computer, did a quick search, and turns out it was a totally normal penny. worth exactly 1 cent, but hey, that's the thrill of coin collecting. Every time you pick up a penny, you could be holding a small fortune. And today, I'm going to help you figure out if you might have the legendary 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny sitting in your pocket right now. So, what's the big deal with this coin? Well, most pennies from 1975 have a small letter underneath the date, either AD for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But if your penny has no mint mark at all, then you might have something incredibly rare. The US Mint always places mint marks to indicate where a coin was produced. But in very rare cases, coins are struck without them due to errors or unusual circumstances. And this 1975 penny? It's one of those rare mistakes that turned into a collector's dream. Now, here's where things get really interesting. There are only a handful of these no mint mark 1975 pennies known to exist. And because collectors go absolutely wild for rare errors, this coin has become the holy grail of Lincoln pennies. The last known sale? $1.7 million. Let me say that again. A single penny, something most of us drop between couch cushions, sold for more than a mansion. All right, so now that I have your full attention, and possibly have you dumping out your piggy bank, here's what to look for. Check under the date. If there's a tiny D or S, sorry, it's not the one. But if there's nothing, well, my friend, you might want to grab a magnifying glass. Like any valuable collectible, the better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a washing machine 10 times, it's probably not $1 million find. Great question. The value of this coin comes down to rarity, demand, and error history. Collectors love unique pieces, and a 1975 penny without a mint mark is like finding a four-leaf clover made of gold. It's a true mystery of the coin world. How did this happen, and how many more could still be out there? Auction houses and collectors have driven up the price because, let's be honest, coin enthusiasts will do anything to own a one-of-a-kind piece. And hey, if they have $1.7 million to spare, why not spend it on a penny? So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That little coin rattling around in your car's cup holder might just be your ticket to early retirement. Hit that subscribe button. If you love learning about rare coins, coin collecting strategies, and how to turn pocket change into real money, this is the place for you. And hey, if you find a 1975 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, let me know. Maybe we can split the millions. Or at least grab a coffee with your newfound fortune. Imagine this. You're digging through your pocket change, minding your own business, when bam, you spot a 1973 D Lincoln penny. Looks ordinary, right? But what if I told you that one of these little copper coins recently sold for a jaw-dropping $1.8 million? Yeah, that's right. A single penny worth more than a mansion. Now, before you start raiding your couch cushions and breaking open your piggy banks, let's talk about what makes this coin so valuable, how to spot one in, most importantly, how you can cash in if you find one. So grab your magnifying glass, and let's dive into the fascinating world of rare coins. Most 1973 D pennies are worth, well, a penny. But there's a very special version that has collectors going wild. The reason? A rare minting error that makes this coin one of a kind. Now, I know what you're thinking. A mint error? How big of a mistake are we talking here? Well, let me tell you, a big one. Some of these pennies were accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of the standard zinc-coated steel. This was a time when the US Mint was experimenting with different metals due to rising copper prices. Most of these test coins were supposed to be destroyed, but a few sneaky survivors made it into circulation. I remember the first time I thought I had found a fortune in my pocket change. I was at a gas station, and I got a weird-looking penny as change. It looked old, different, almost magical. Okay, maybe I was being dramatic, but you get the point. I rushed home, heart pounding, grabbed my coin book, and started inspecting it like a detective solving a high-stakes case. Turns out, it was just a very dirty 1983 penny. Yeah, my millionaire dreams crashed harder than a vending machine stealing your last dollar. But hey, that's the thrill of the hunt. And who knows, maybe your next penny will be the real jackpot. How to spot a $1.8 million 1973 D penny? So, how can you tell if your 1973 D penny is the one? Check the mint mark. The D means it was minted in Denver. That's a good start, but not all 1973 D pennies are valuable. Test the metal. The rare ones were struck on bronze planchets, while regular 1973 D pennies are made of copper-plated zinc. A simple magnet test can help. If it sticks to a magnet, it's not the rare one to outweigh it. A normal penny weighs about 2.5 grams, but the valuable bronze ones weigh around 3.1 grams. A digital scale can confirm this. Look for a professional opinion. If you think you've got a winner, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. These are the experts who authenticate rare coins. Okay, so why would someone pay $1.8 million for a penny? Simple: rarity and demand. Coin collectors love unique pieces, and since only a few 1973 D bronze pennies exist, the competition is fierce. Add in the fact that Lincoln pennies are one of the most collected coins in the world, and you've got a perfect storm for sky-high prices. Think about it like baseball cards or vintage comic books. The rarer, the pricier. Where to look for rare pennies if you're thinking, where do I even start looking for one of these bad boys? Your pocket change. You'd be surprised how often rare coins slip through the cracks. Coin rolls from the bank, grab a few rolls of pennies and start hunting. Estate sales and flea markets. People unknowingly sell valuable coins for next to nothing. Old piggy banks and jars. Grandma's penny jar could be a gold mine. So, there you have it. The story of the 1973 D Lincoln penny that turned into a millionaire's dream. Now, before you run off to inspect every penny in sight, let me leave you with this. Coin collecting is a game of patience, knowledge, and a little bit of luck. You might not find $1 million penny today, but every coin you check gets you one step closer. And who knows? Maybe you will be the next lucky collector to cash in big. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on valuable coins, collecting strategies, and hidden treasures, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. That way, you won't miss any of my future coin hunting secrets. And hey, drop a comment below if you've ever found an interesting or rare coin. I'd love to hear your stories. Have you ever checked the couch cushions, that old piggy bank, or the junk drawer for spare change? Well, today, you might just want to because we're talking about a 1978 D Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.9 million. Yes, you heard that right. One little penny, almost 2 million bucks. Now, before you go flipping over every penny in your house, let me tell you why this particular coin is so valuable, how you can spot one, and what makes it so special. And of course, I'll share a hilarious story about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. Spoiler alert, I did not. But stick around because if you collect coins or just like free money, you're gonna love this one. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for. Who knows? You could be sitting on a small fortune and not even know it. Alright, let's get into it. The 1978 D penny is just your average, everyday Lincoln cent, or so it seems. It was minted in Denver. That's what the little D mint mark means. And over 4.2 billion of these pennies were made. So why on earth would one be worth nearly 2 million bucks? It all comes down to errors, rarity, and demand. Some coins, due to mistakes during production, end up being one-of-a-kind treasures. And let me tell you, collectors go crazy for unique finds. What makes this coin worth $1.90 million? There's a super rare error on a small handful of these 1978 D pennies. The $1 million one has a double die obverse, meaning the design on the front was accidentally struck twice, creating a noticeable doubling effect on Abraham Lincoln's face, his bow tie, and the date. It's like Lincoln was doing the cha-cha while being minted. Or maybe the coin press just had one too many cups of coffee that day. Now, not every double die penny is worth millions, but in this case, it's one of the most dramatic doubling errors ever found, and only a handful exist. That's why collectors are willing to pay the big bucks for it. What should you look for if you want to find this golden, well, copper ticket? Look for the D mint mark below the year 1978 check for doubling on Lincoln's face, bow tie, and the date. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to spot the error. Check the coin's condition. If it's in great shape, it's worth even more. If you think you've found one, get it authenticated. You don't want to be the person who sells $1 million coin for $1.50 at a garage sale. The almost $1 million penny story. Alright, now for my personal story, because let me tell you, I was convinced I was about to retire early thanks to a penny. A few years ago, I was going through my old coin collection. I had just watched a video about valuable pennies, kind of like this one, and I got all excited. I found a 1978 D penny with what looked like doubling on the date. My heart nearly jumped out of my chest. I did everything right. Got a magnifying glass, checked all the details, even took a million pictures of it. Then, I rushed to get it appraised, already imagining my brand new beach house, my sports car, maybe even a pet giraffe. Hey, why not? Well, turns out, it was just machine doubling. Not the real deal. My dreams? Shattered. My beach house? Gone. My pet giraffe? Never even stood a chance. Moral of the story? Always get your coins checked by an expert. You never know when you might actually have the real thing. 1. A 1978 D penny could be worth $1.9 million, but only if it has the super rare double die obverse error. 2. Check your spare change, because you never know what's hiding in plain sight. And 3. Don't start planning your retirement before an expert confirms your coin is legit. Go check your pennies. If you find something interesting, drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear about your discoveries. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and turn on notifications so you never miss a video on coins worth serious money. Imagine finding a penny on the ground. No big deal, right? You might think it's just another piece of copper, something you'll toss in your jar with all the other loose change. But what if I told you that a single penny, just one little coin, could be worth $2 million? Yep, you heard that right. $2 million for a coin that you could have passed over without a second glance. Stick around, because today, we're diving into the story of the 1981 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how this seemingly ordinary penny could make you richer than you ever imagined. Most pennies you come across are stamped with either a D or S mint mark. Those marks tell you where the penny was made, D for Denver and S for San Francisco. But then, in 1981, something pretty wild happened. A few rare pennies were released into circulation without any mint mark. Now, don't go scrambling to check all your 1981 pennies just yet. This isn't a situation where every penny from that year is worth millions. No, no, no. That would be too easy, wouldn't it? Only a very small number of these 1981 no-mint mark pennies exist, and they are worth a lot. We're talking up to $2 million for one of these bad boys, depending on its condition. Sounds like a dream, right? I bet you're already looking through your penny jar to see if you've struck gold. But here's the thing, it's not just about finding any 1981 penny. It's about finding the one with no mint mark in perfect condition. So, how do you know if you've got a winner? Make sure your penny is from 1981. Now, I know that sounds obvious, but I've seen folks get excited over a 1980 penny or, gasp, a 1982 penny and wonder why they're not getting any offers to buy them for millions. It happens more than you think. Look for the absence of a mint mark next up. You need to check if there's a mint mark. You'll usually find it just below Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. If there's nothing there, then you've got yourself a mystery coin. No mint mark means it could be one of those rare pennies from the Philadelphia Mint, where, for some strange reason, they forgot to put a mint mark on a small batch of coins. Whoops. Condition is everything now. Even if you find a 1981 no mint mark penny, there's still the condition. The key to its million-dollar value is how pristine it is. The more worn down it is, the less valuable it is. You want it to be in mint condition, shiny, smooth, with no visible scratches or damage. If you've got one that looks like it was run over by a truck, well, maybe don't hold your breath on that $2 million payday. But don't get discouraged. Even if you've got a 1981 no mint mark penny that's a little worse for wear, it could still fetch you a pretty penny, pun intended. These pennies have been known to go for hundreds or even thousands of dollars in less than perfect condition. Here's a funny personal story. A while back, I was rummaging through my coin collection, just doing a little spring cleaning, and I found a penny I was sure was a rare 1981 no mint mark. I thought, this is it. I'm about to retire and live on a beach in Hawaii. I took it to a coin dealer, all excited, and after a few seconds, the dealer looked at it, smiled, and said, well, it's certainly a penny. Just a regular one. Turns out, it wasn't the special penny I'd hoped for. But hey, at least I didn't end up on some weird coin-related reality show with that one. Check the market now. If you found one of these elusive 1981 no mint mark pennies and it's in great condition, it's time to do some research. The market for rare coins fluctuates, and this penny's value can change based on demand and availability. But the most recent sales have been pretty mind-blowing. Some have sold for over $2 million. So if you've got one, don't just take my word for it. Get it appraised by a professional and see what it's really worth. The 1981 no-mint mark penny might just be one of the most valuable pennies out there, potentially worth $2 million if you've got a rare, well-preserved one. But remember, finding a coin like this isn't as simple as picking one up off the sidewalk. It takes some knowledge, patience, and a little bit of luck. If you happen to have one of these in your pocket, your bank account might be looking a little healthier soon. If not, don't worry. There are plenty of other valuable coins out there that could be sitting in your collection, waiting for you to discover them. Now, if you want to stay on top of all the latest tips, tricks, and coin hunting strategies, be sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll keep you updated on all the coins worth money and how to maximize your collection's value. And hey, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. It really helps the channel. Who knows? Maybe your next coin could be the one that makes you a millionaire. You ever think you've struck gold when you find a shiny penny in your pocket? Well, what if I told you that a 1996 D penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.1 million? Sounds like a fantasy, right? I'm not messing with you here. This penny is one of the most valuable ones out there, and today, we're diving deep into the story of this little copper coin that's worth more than some people's houses. Stay tuned, because you might just have one hiding in your change jar right now. All right, real quick. I remember the first time I found a coin that I thought was worth something. I was just a kid, maybe 10 or 11 years old, and I found an old, tarnished quarter in the backyard. I was convinced it was worth a fortune, and I spent hours online searching for its value. Turns out, it was just a regular quarter. But hey, the excitement of thinking I'd hit the jackpot? Priceless. So, believe me when I say, I know how thrilling it is to find a rare coin, even if it's just a hopeful find. Now, what about that 1996 D penny? What makes this thing worth a whole lot more than a regular penny? Well, you're in for a treat today. Grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. All right, let's get the basics out of the way first. The 1996 D Abraham Lincoln penny was minted at the Denver Mint, and to the naked eye, it looks like just another penny. It's got Lincoln on one side, as usual, and the Lincoln Memorial on the other. Nothing out of the ordinary, until you really take a closer look. Because the 1996 D penny that's worth millions isn't just any 1996 penny. It's a misprint. That's right, there was a small batch of these pennies produced where the D mint mark was misplaced. Instead of a properly stamped mint mark, the D was weak, unclear, or even completely absent on some of them. And let me tell you, these pennies are the ones you want to be keeping an eye out for. When coins are misprinted like this, collectors go wild. A regular, correctly minted 1996 D penny? That's worth a couple of cents. But the rare, misprinted ones? That's where the real money's at. So how did one of these misprinted pennies end up selling for a record-breaking $2.1 million? Well, in the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. And this penny became a rare gem because there were so few made. You know, we're talking about a mistake in production. So not every single 1996 D penny had the error. There was a very limited amount, and that's what makes it incredibly valuable. Imagine walking into a store with a coin that costs a couple of cents, and then, BM, it's worth millions. That's what happened when a lucky collector got their hands on one of these. And it wasn't just any collector. This was a professional, someone who knows the ins and outs of every tiny imperfection. So, if you find one, you've basically struck coin collecting gold. Here's where you can feel like a pro. First, make sure you've got a 1996 D penny, and then do a quick check for the mint mark. Now, this is where things get tricky. The mint mark on the back of a penny should be clean and clear, but on the rarer misprints, it's going to be faint or even missing. If you see that imperfection, your penny could be worth thousands or even more. So, if you're out there with a magnifying glass, make sure you're looking at it closely. But hey, don't worry if you're not sure whether you've got a winner just yet. You can always take it to a coin expert or a local coin shop to get it checked out. Speaking of checking coins, one time, I thought I found a rare 1943 copper penny. I mean, come on, copper pennies from 1943? That's like the holy grail for collectors. I was feeling like a millionaire for a hot minute. I ran to the nearest coin shop and showed the dealer my rare find. And he just looked at me and said, "Nice try, but that's a fake." Apparently, it's a common mistake. I still keep that penny around as a reminder that, hey, I might not always find a treasure, but I sure do have a good laugh at my own expense sometimes. So, what does all of this mean for you and your change jar? First of all, don't throw out your pennies just because you think they're worthless. It could be the difference between holding onto a coin worth a couple of cents or one that could be worth a small fortune. Who knows? You might have one of these $2.1 million gems sitting in your drawer right now. But the moral of the story, keep searching, keep checking, and keep having fun with it. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and the more you learn, the better your chances of finding something truly valuable. And hey, if you love finding coins worth money and want to stay up to date on tips, tricks, and coin collecting strategies, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't want to miss out on the next big find. And I've got plenty more tips coming your way. Alright, folks, what if I told you that a regular OL penny, one that looks like the same copper-colored coin you probably have in your couch cushions, could be worth $2.2 million? Yeah, you heard that right. A penny. 1 cent. The thing most people walk past on the sidewalk without a second thought. Well, today, we're diving deep into the 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny, the one that could turn you into a millionaire overnight. If you're lucky enough to have one. Now, before you go tearing apart your piggy banks and flipping over every penny in your house, let me share a quick story. So, a while back, I was at a garage sale, and this guy had a box labeled junk coins, 25 cents each. Now, I couldn't just walk past that. I started digging, flipping through coin after coin, and then I saw it. A 1984 penny. My heart skipped a beat. Could it be the one? Could I have just paid a quarter for a multimillion-dollar coin? I rushed home, grabbed my magnifying glass, inspected it, and, well, let's just say it was worth about 1 cent. But hey, at least I got some excitement out of it. And today, I'm here to make sure you know exactly what to look for so you don't make the same mistake I did. What is the 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny? So, what's so special about this penny? Normally, pennies have a little letter on them. D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or P for Philadelphia. But this bad boy? No letter at all. A mistake at the mint resulted in a tiny number of these pennies being produced without a mint mark, and that mistake is exactly what makes them valuable. This coin is from the era when pennies were mostly zinc with a thin copper coating, which means it has a distinct look compared to older all-copper pennies. How do you know if you have one? Alright, now here's where it gets fun. Time to check your pennies. Here's what to do. Make sure it's 1984. No other year will do. If there's a little D or S below the date, sorry, you're out of luck. If there's nothing there, you might be onto something. If your penny looks like it got chewed up by a lawnmower, it's probably not worth millions. The ones that bring in the big bucks are usually in mint condition, meaning they look fresh off the press. Why is this penny worth $2.20 million? So, what makes this little coin so incredibly valuable? Well, it all comes down to rarity and demand. Only a handful of these pennies exist, which makes collectors go crazy for them. The last time one of these surfaced in pristine condition, it sold for $2.2 million at auction. That's more than most houses. Coin collectors love unique mint errors, and when there's only a few known examples, the value skyrockets. What should you do if you find one? Alright, let's say you just checked your penny jar and boom, you've got a 1984 penny with no mint mark. What now? Don't spend it seriously. Don't go using it to buy gum. Take it to a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll tell you if it's legit. If it's the real deal, get in touch with a reputable coin auction house. They'll help you sell it for top dollar. The 1984 no-mint Mark Lincoln penny is one of the rarest and most valuable pennies out there. If you have one in mint condition, it could be worth millions. Always check your change because treasure might be hiding in your pocket. Now, before you go dumping your whole coin jar onto the floor, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I cover rare coins, collecting strategies, and all the hidden gems that could be worth life-changing money. Plus, if you enjoyed this, I promise you'll love what's coming next. And one last thing. If you find this penny and become a millionaire, don't forget who told you about it. Maybe send me a thank you card, or, a small cut of the millions? Just kidding. Kind of. You ever check your pocket change and think, just a bunch of pennies? Well, what if I told you that one of those pennies, a regular OL 2007 D Lincoln penny, could be worth a jaw-dropping $2.3 million? Yeah, that's right. We're talking about a single, tiny, copper-coated coin that could buy you a mansion, a dream car, or, if you're like me, enough snacks to last a lifetime. Before you go tossing that penny jar into a Coinstar machine, you need to hear this story. Because today, we're diving into what makes this 2007 D penny so valuable, how to spot one, and why it's selling for life-changing money right now. So, grab your magnifying glass, empty your pockets, and let's go treasure hunting. My personal, almost rich, penny story. Before we get into the juicy details, let me tell you a little story. A while back, I was at a flea market. One of those places where you can find everything from vintage records to homemade beef jerky. I stopped by this old guy's coin booth, and he was rambling about how he found a rare penny in his couch cushions. I laughed, thought he was just trying to sell me a common coin for 10 bucks. 2007, D. Lincoln penny sells for $2.3 million. My jaw hit the floor. I scrambled to check my penny jar, my car's cup holder, even my laundry pile. But nope. The $1 million penny had slipped through my fingers. Just like that. Lesson learned. Always, always check your change. Alright, so what's the deal with this particular penny? It's just a regular Lincoln Memorial cent, right? Well, not exactly. This is no ordinary penny. It's a one-of-a-kind mint error that turned a common coin into a collector's dream. Back in 2007, the Denver Mint accidentally struck a batch of Lincoln pennies on a 95% copper planchet instead of the usual zinc-coated composition. This was a huge mistake because the U.S. Mint had already switched over to the copper-plated zinc pennies in 1982 to cut costs. Only a few of these copper planchet 2007 D pennies escaped into circulation before anyone noticed. Point one lucky collector got it authenticated, put it up for auction, and bam. $2.3 million later, history was made. Now, imagine buying a soda with that penny. Some gas station cashier out there might have unknowingly handed a customer their change, including a multi-million-dollar coin. Okay, now let's get practical. How do you know if you have one of these hidden treasures? Check the date and mint mark. It must be a 2007 D penny, D for Denver Mint. If it's from another year or has a different mint mark, sorry, but keep checking. Weigh it. Regular 2007 pennies made from zinc weigh 2.5 grams, but this rare error coin, made of copper, weighs 3.1 grams. Grab a small digital scale and test it. Look at the color. Copper pennies have a deeper, reddish-brown tone, while the zinc ones are a bit lighter. Magnet test. It's not foolproof, but copper pennies aren't magnetic, while some zinc-coated ones have a slight reaction. Get it authenticated. If you think you have one, send it to PCGS or NGC, the top coin grading services, to verify its authenticity. If they confirm it, congratulations, you just hit the jackpot. So, what's the moral of the story? Never underestimate the power of pocket change. That little penny you step over on the sidewalk or toss in a tip jar could be worth millions. Go grab your penny jar, your car cup holder, your old coat pockets, heck, even your couch cushions. Start checking for that 2007 D. Lincoln penny with the weight of 3.1 grams. If you find one, you might just become a millionaire overnight. And if you love learning about coins that could make you rich, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more treasure hunting tips coming your way, and trust me, you don't want to miss them. Have you ever wondered if that humble penny jingling in your pocket could be worth a fortune? Well, today, we're diving deep into the fascinating world of the 1967 Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert. While it might not make you a millionaire overnight, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. So, grab your magnifying glasses and let's uncover the hidden treasures of this seemingly ordinary coin. First things first, let's get acquainted with our star of the show, the 1967 Lincoln penny. At a glance, it might look like any other penny, but there's a rich history behind it. In 1967, the U.S. Mint produced over 3 billion of these coins. That's right, billion with a B. Due to a coin shortage, the Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all coins between 1965 and 1967. So if your 1967 penny lacks a mint mark, that's completely normal. Now, you might be thinking, with so many minted, how could this coin be valuable? Excellent question. While the vast majority of these pennies are common, certain factors can make some of them stand out and increase their value. Unlike modern pennies, which are primarily zinc, 1967 pennies are composed of 95% copper. Given the rise in copper prices, the metal content alone makes these coins worth more than their face value. In fact, each 1967 penny contains about 2 cents worth of copper. So, even in circulated condition, they're worth at least double their face value. As with most collectibles, condition is king. An uncirculated 1967 penny, that is, one that has never been used, can fetch a higher price. These pristine coins can be worth between 10 to 20 cents. It might not sound like much, but considering it's a penny, that's a significant increase. In lieu of traditional proof sets, the Mint released special mint sets in 1967. These sets contain coins with a special finish and are more valuable to collectors. A 1967 SMS penny in top condition can be worth around $1. The most valuable 1967 SMS penny sold for over $5,500 at auction. Here's where things get really interesting. Some 1967 pennies have unique errors that make them particularly valuable. This error occurs when the coin is struck twice, resulting in overlapping images. While no major double die varieties are known for 1967 pennies, minor ones exist and can be worth between $20 to $50. Die cracks and BI errors. Over time, coin dies can develop cracks, leading to raised lines or bumps on the coin. A specific type of die crack, known as the BI error, appears as a vertical line between the B and E in Liberty, resembling the letter I. These errors can add value, with BI pennies fetching between $5 to $15. Let me share a little story. A few years back, I was helping my grandmother clean out her attic when we stumbled upon an old jar filled with pennies. Most were ordinary, but one caught my eye. It was a 1967 penny in remarkable condition. Intrigued, I did some research and discovered it was from a special mint set. While it wasn't worth thousands, knowing its history and value made it a cherished find. It just goes to show, you never know what treasures might be hiding in plain sight. While the 1967 Lincoln penny won't make you a millionaire, it's a fascinating piece of history with intrinsic value. Whether it's the copper content, unique errors, or simply the joy of discovery, these coins have more to offer than meets the EYE.SO. Next time you come across a 1967 penny, take a moment to appreciate its story. And who knows? With a keen eye and a bit of luck, you might just find a hidden gem in your pocket change. If you enjoyed this deep dive into coin collecting and want to uncover more hidden treasures, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Join us as we explore more coins worth money and share tips on building your collection. Alright, folks, imagine this. You're digging through your couch cushions, looking for some spare change to buy a soda, and bam, you pull out a penny. But not just any penny. One that could make you a millionaire overnight. Sounds like something out of a movie, right? Well, believe it or not, a 2016 D. Lincoln penny has been valued at a staggering $2.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A little OL, 1 cent coin that's probably jingling around in your pocket right now could be worth more than a mansion. Now, before you run to your piggy bank with a magnifying glass, sit tight. We're diving deep into this mind-blowing coin, why it's so valuable, and how you can check if you've got one. And trust me, you'll want to stick around till the end, because I'll also be sharing a personal coin hunting story that'll make you rethink every penny you've ever spent. So, the 2016 D. Lincoln penny is a standard issue coin from the Denver Mint. Nothing unusual there, right? Wrong. This particular penny is special because of a rare error. Coin collectors love errors. It's like finding a misprinted baseball card or a one-of-a-kind painting. But not all errors are created equal. The 2016 D penny that fetched $2.5 million had a major double die error. That's when the design gets accidentally struck twice, creating a weird, ghostly doubling effect. Imagine if Abraham Lincoln decided to photobomb himself on a penny. That's kind of what happens with these errors. Another reason this coin is so valuable is its condition. It was found in a near-perfect state, meaning no scratches, no dings, no accidentally went through the washing machine damage. Coin grading experts rated it as MS 69. Almost perfect. All right, time for the fun part. Checking your coins. Grab your 2016 D pennies and look for these key details. Mint mark. Make sure it has the little d below the date. That means it was minted in Denver. Double die error. Check Lincoln's face, the lettering, and even his bow tie for any doubling. Sharp details and shiny surface. The better the condition, the higher the value. If your penny looks like it's been through a blender, well, you might still have a rare coin, but don't expect millions. The market value, could you be a millionaire? Now, before you quit your day job thinking you're about to cash in, let's talk market value. That $2.5 million price tag? That was for one ultra-rare example in top-notch condition. Most 2016 D pennies, even with minor errors, sell for anywhere from $50 to $1,000. Still not bad for a coin worth 1 cent, right? Get it authenticated. Send it to a grading service like PCGS or NGC. They'll check it out and give you an official grade. Check auction sites. Heritage auctions and eBay are great places to see what similar coins are selling for. Join a coin collecting community. Talking to experienced collectors can give you a better idea of what your coin might be worth. My coin hunting story. The one that got away now. Let me tell you about my own painful coin collecting lesson. A few years ago, I was sorting through some old change when I found a penny that looked different. It had some weird doubling on Lincoln's face, and something told me, hey, this might be worth something. Instead of taking it to an expert, I spent it at a gas station. That's right. I turned what could have been a rare and valuable penny into half a stick of gum and some regret. A few months later, I learned about a similar penny selling for thousands, and I've been kicking myself ever since. Moral of the story? Check your coins before you spend them. That a tiny copper coin could change your life, that checking your spare change is officially the cheapest treasure hunt in the world, and that I should probably never be trusted with pocket money again. Now, I want to hear from you. Have you ever found a valuable coin? Or are you about to dump out your piggy bank and go on a treasure hunt? Let me know in the comments. And if you love learning about coins worth money and want more strategies to find them, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next one. I'll be talking about a nickel that's worth 6 figures.